So they became best friends and territorial of each other while simultaneously disliking one another. Hi guys, welcome back to Clare's Kingdom, where we talk facts, walk fierce, and remind the world that well-behaved women rarely make history.
You wake up, house up, run around in it, flossing on it. This diamond, my diamond, this rock, my rock. I woke up like this. I woke up like this.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So we're here with another juicy one, the psychology of women friendship groups, aka it's a myth. And for someone who hasn't been in a friendship group for years, I definitely have found that I am not missing out as much as I feel like I am sometimes. And my recent experiences have definitely confirmed this. But yeah, we're going to get right into it. So fun fact, I've actually studied behavioral science. So along with that, my life has just felt like a social experiment, all of in itself. Like, I honestly feel like I'm in a simulation, or like this life is a simulation, which low-key is sometimes. But you know what? That's a story for another day. But yeah, let's talk about it. Most people are friends with users, abusers, fake people, or maybe they're friends out of convenience, or just friends because of the aesthetics. And I'm sure we've seen things like that where people say they're only friends with pretty people, they're only friends with rich people. And I know that in some cases it's just a matter of being around people that are like you, which there isn't really any problem with. But I am speaking from the perspective of only choosing friends based on artificial or superficial reasons. From what I've gathered, people would rather be friends with, they'd rather date, they'd rather marry people that are of low quality rather than being alone. And they would make excuses like, oh, I don't want to be alone. Let's say if they want to travel or do things, they say that they don't think it's safe to do it alone. Maybe they think if it's in the context of relationship, they think they're too old, they're getting older, or they're not always like this, it happens. I'm sure we've seen and heard of how people make excuses for their friends or family or partners, whatever the case may be. And when it comes to women friendship groups, you'll find that people will experience the biggest heartbreaks, betrayals, and still remain friends and continue friendships, continue situations. And this was highlighted to me recently when I had to complete a project with a group of people, right? And obviously we got to pick our groups, and usually I would do it with people that I knew or had some sort of acquaintanceship or friendship with. But I found that when having to work with these kinds of people you already have some sort of bond with, there tends to be a lot of group politics. And when I say that, I mean like people's personal grievances, jealousy, all of that, just mixing it up. It just makes the process more difficult and more complicated than it needs to be. Because instead of working on the project, I find that we're tending to people's egos, or in the name of friendship not speaking up, or in the name of some sort of bond, people just aren't really in their professional mindset. So for once I said, you know what, I'm going to pick a group. From the outside look like a very head down, put together, we get things done group. And my mindset going into the group was literally get the work done. Like, it's nothing personal, no personal ties, let's just get this project done, get on with our lives, right? And oh god, how wrong I was. Don't get me wrong, like, it got done, thankfully, slowly but surely it got done. But I had very many observations from that project. And what I found was, from the outside, women groups especially can look so coherent. They can look like everyone's getting along, everyone's fine, everybody's functional, they're close, they're loyal to each other. And then when you actually enter these dynamics, you realize that there isn't much substance. Like, you can see people posting online, they're going on trips, holidays, being spoiled, all these things. But then when you actually spend time around these people, enter these dynamics, you realize, like, damn, like, it's literally, there's no substance, and they're talking about one another. And this is one thing that really, like, still mind boggles me. Like, when I entered this group initially, let's say like I'm spending one-on-one with one member or whatever, it's like they would speak about each other to me on like separate occasions. And I was like, whoa, like, from the outside I generally thought you lot were friends. Like, I generally thought it would be a case where I'd be coasting with this group. Not that I like to leave work for other people, but I just thought, typically when there's a group, there's always like, I won't say the leader, but there's the people that basically carry the energy. And I thought because I'm like an outside person, I guess, you think that I'll take the back seat, right, and just see what's going on. But lo and behold, I ended up having to actually take one of the front seats because there was just no coherence, there was just no like what's the word, collaboration. And not only did they talk about each other, but it was just very surface level. Like I could tell that it was a fake sense of being cordial. And then you realize that most of these bonds are made not because of friendship or likes or dislikes, but because of convenience, because we're all in the same environment, you're all in the same workplace, same family space, same gym, maybe same whatever environment you want to insert. Because you're in the same place, people create bonds based on just that proximity, not necessarily because they like each other, but because they feel like if they don't have each other, then they don't have anything, right? So you realize that, or I've realized that, damn, like I was not missing out much. Like sometimes I'll look at groups and be like, wow, like maybe that would be nice. But then you enter them and you actually see the reality. Like, no, like there's a lot of unspoken hierarchy tensions, and it just confirms the idea that people that have a desire for high quality bonds are not just out here with anyone, and that most quality people are definitely not in groups. Because if you're like me, I just can't tolerate the niceties, the fakeness. When I tell you, I just have to keep telling myself like, this is just a project, you know, just keep going, like it's nothing personal. That's what I'd think, that's what I'd hope. And one issue that I've had in the past is assuming that everyone thought like me. Like my mindset is nothing personal, let's just get the project done, boom, bow. But it wasn't the case, and it actually seemed like people were offended by that detachment for my part, or that compartmentalization for my part, which I'm going to make that as a separate video. But yeah, when you're someone who is probably working towards their mission, their goals, you're definitely not going to be able to coexist within a friendship group or women groups. Or if you're currently in a women friendship group and you think or you feel that there's tension or there's just underlying weirdness or one-sidedness, you know why now. And naturally, when you're in a group dynamic anyway, you're going to have to shrink. You're going to have to abide by the unspoken consensual agreement in the group. No one's going to outwardly say it, but people assume who the leader is, quote unquote leader, even though no one will outright say that because you don't say that. But everyone knows when you enter a group, there's that one person who thinks they're the top, then there's the side friend, then there's the cheerleader friend. So many different roles in friendship groups, and you'll find that even me, when I used to be in friendship groups, I felt like I had to hide parts of myself, or I couldn't share certain achievements, or I just felt like I was always walking on eggshells. And truth is always avoided. The psychology of women groups. Truth is never faced. And the person that even tries to bring truth up is always made to be the scapegoat. It's a cautionary tale. And let me give you guys a story time. While I was in university, especially like my first earlier years, I was friends with these like girls, right? And I was close with one specific woman. And we were very close. And I made a video about the whole proximity bonds. Make sure you guys go watch that. And obviously we were friends because we're in the same area, but we generally got along. And it just started to get weird. And long story short, this person would talk about, we had another girl or other woman we were friends with, but the woman I was with, she would always talk smack about, first of all, she would talk smack about everyone. Like the man walking across the street, she will roast him, roast his clothes. And I'm not the type of person who likes to talk about people or entertain gossip or entertain insulting people unprovoked. So I would always be the person to be like, oh, that's not really nice, like don't say that, or just like shrug it off. And she would even talk about people that we were quote unquote friends with, right? But obviously I'm the type of person where I'm like, I'm listening, I'm watching, I'm seeing, and she would tell me how much she disliked this girl, disliked and despised her, right? And for me it was just like damn, why? Long story short, I ended up distancing myself from her because it was just getting weird. And long story short, I know I keep saying that. Long story short, her and this girl ended up becoming besties. These girls became besties. Mind you, they used to bicker all the time as well. So I didn't think the dislike was one-sided. I think it was definitely mutual. But you know, when people jokingly insult each other, but you know damn well they did not like each other. And when I distanced myself from the friend that I was close to, they ended up becoming besties, and they became so territorial of each other that even if, let's say, I was speaking to one of them, the other would like come out of nowhere and like kind of come stand next to them as if they were threatened I was going to take them or be close to them again. I don't know. It was just weird stuff. And this is grown women, like we are grown, by the way. But yeah, it's just interesting to know that, you know, with great power, you know, comes great responsibility. So it's not my place to go to people and say, you know what, this girl used to talk smack about you, and your friendship is built on a lie. And I can say that that's been the story of so many dynamics growing up, where people would be friends out of the mutual dislike of me, or because I set them or introduce them to each other, and when I leave the picture they form some sort of even stronger bond, wherever the case may be. And yeah, it's a canon event. If you watch the Spider-Verse, I think it's called, there's this idea of a canon event where it's like an event that everyone has to go through to kind of realize or learn like some sort of like universal lesson, and you basically can't interrupt. Like, you can't interrupt, it's a canon event. Like, if you interrupt it, you rob that person of self-development. So it's one of those things that, like, you know what, people will learn, like, it's not my place. And that's just to reiterate the point that a lot of people in these friendships, they're not genuine. So if you're someone who may not have friends today, or you maybe don't have as many friends as you'd like, I promise you, you're not missing out on much. And yeah, a lot of people that have friends today, especially in these big groups of women, they do not like each other. And I've finally come to the point where I do not want to be part of that. I just do not have it in me. I do not. Like, having to ignore people when they're giving me the most scrunched up face. When, like, I remember, guys, when I was working on that project, this woman was giving me the most, like, you'd think I stole her money. Like, the look she was giving me when I was simply just telling her, like, what to do, because she claimed she couldn't do it. So I just simply cordially just said, okay, I can show you. And it's like they're just offended by me just even speaking. Like, but yeah, that's that. Comment down below if you guys can relate. What are your experiences in these women friendship groups? And let me know. Yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one.
I woke up like this, we flawless. Ladies, tell them I woke up like this. I woke up like this, we flawless. Ladies,